My partner Jim Heddle and I direct the Ecological Options Network. We're a nonprofit that focuses on documenting solutions to the challenges that we have today. We started on the issue of electromagnetic pollution quite a long time ago. We started initially with the nuclear issue and moved our way down the spectrum from ionizing to non-ionizing radiation and the issues that that presents. We produced a documentary called Public Exposure, DNA, Democracy, and the Wireless Revolution about 10 years ago. That was widely used in Fairfax as Fairfax debated its wireless ordinance that has been used around the world. It's been broadcast repeatedly, and our work has been used in Congress and in the United Nations, and globally it's been also put into libraries and parliaments worldwide. How many people know what Prop 16 was? Oh, well, those of us who are in energy issues, Prop 16 was floated by PG&E last June, okay, and what it would have done had it passed it would have enshrined PG&E's monopoly forever in the California Constitution. And so this was their attempt to fight off attempts to establish nonprofit public utilities, such as the one in Marin County, Marin Clean Energy, and that's why they were so threatened. They spent $50 million of our ratepayer dollars trying to get that passed. Fortunately, there was such an outcry from around the state that it was defeated, and in large part, I believe, because of the anger in Bakersfield against smart meters. They had a terrific, awful time with them. What we definitely have here is an assault on our democratic choice. This is one of the largest technological rollouts in history, in PG&E's own words, and yet there was no California Environmental Quality Act review, no environmental review, no human health impact study done. We no longer have our home as our castle, violates property owners and homeowners' rights, which is why the Marin Association of Realtors has gone on record as in opposition to this. And in fact, what we're seeing is that the people have been flocking to Fairfax who are sensitive, electro-sensitive, and looking for places to live. So what the PG&E claims are that these meters will save energy. They do not save energy, but they save energy for PG&E because they have eliminated the job of the meter reader. The smart meters consume more energy and materials. Can you imagine the amount of materials and energy going into replacing every single gas and electric meter in the country and in PG&E's territory? That means for 10 million homes. PG&E, by the way, has put in 70 to 90% of the smart meters deployed in the United States. They're leading the surge to get these installed, and the rest of the country and other industries, other utilities are watching very carefully what is happening here with PG&E and the people's resistance to this. So another reason that they don't save energy is because this home area network, where all the appliances will supposedly be hooked into a router and a modem that will then connect wirelessly to the smart meter, will be on standby power all the time. right now, 20%, this is according to PG&E's own figures on their website, of plug loads are from the TVs, computers, and home entertainment devices. And 20%, well, 91% of the plug loads are from the TVs, computers, and home entertainment devices. 20% of that is phantom loads, standby power. So they are going to be increasing the standby power from this used in this scheme. And then just think about the data processing of all that private information, of the tentacle of the corporation into our homes, as Larry's put it before. That's going to be consuming petabytes of information. Can you imagine how much energy is going to be required for just PG&E alone to process that data, not to mention all utilities processing that kind of volume of data that's being collected 24/7 around the clock. So this is another scheme that PG&E has for increasing their profits. The people are becoming more and more energy conscious. PG&E wants to make more money by selling less. So we've got what's happening is we have $2.2 billion price tag for the rollout of the smart meters alone, plus a 30% rate hike that's expected. Bakersfield has already filed a lawsuit because of the gross overbilling, and there are many stories of vacant homes going from minimum utility bills of $12 to $300 a month for a vacant home. I mean, it's crazy. And then PG&E had supposedly independent firm do an analysis of the accuracy of the meters, and they reported, 100% accuracy. So there have been many claims of this increasing safety by PG&E. The smart meters, according to them, will increase safety. However, the smart meters have been associated with many fires and also damaging sensitive electronics once it's put on. The interference with other wireless devices in the home there's been many complaints about that. And the people with medical implants, which I think is a huge number, something like 30 million now, with pacemakers and midbrain implants for Parkinson's, they are endangered by interference from wireless devices. There's a picture of an exploded smart meter from a business that just actually came off the wall. There's actually also been a complaint filed to the CPUC alleging that it is technically feasible that the fire in San Bruno was triggered by an ignition from their smart meter systems. What we're saying is if they have to have these smart meters, they shouldn't be wireless. And there is no law that mandates that they are wireless. And in fact, originally they were begun over power lines. Wireless means hackable, as you've already heard so well described. And this is from the Black Hat Cyber Security Conference, where hackers had a delicious time discussing the hackability of the grid once these are installed. And then, of course, Larry's already really hit on this issue, and Rob, the privacy violations, the data mining of personal data, and the vulnerability from intrusion, surveillance, and theft. So, but what my major focus has been is on the health impacts. The wireless mesh network is going to mean a huge increase in exposure to low levels of radio frequency radiation. PG&E assures us, oh, don't worry, it's only going to be operating a total of about 45 seconds a day. 45 seconds a day, but these pulses are intense bursts of 2 to 20 milliseconds. Well, that works out to be every 2 to 45 seconds a day. And that's just for your meter. You are going to be exposed from your neighbors' meters bouncing off your meters too, as they make their way to the relay station and on the poles, the repeater that Larry spoke about. So when you have this kind of complexification from banks of meters on apartment buildings or business parks, and these are multiplying the effects and creating even more chaotic signals of exposure to these low levels. And they are chosen to be strong enough to go at least a quarter of a mile or more through the country, through rural areas. They can go right through buildings, and they definitely can go these pulses through bodies. The reflective surfaces, hard reflective surfaces, are also going to be re-radiating these signals. That's the way it works. And hotspots will occur. It's just inevitable. 3 main newly revealed bodies of evidence of adverse health effects from exposure, from long-term exposure to radio frequency radiation, from low levels of it. Dr. Zori Glazier had been tasked by the Navy to put together an archive. It's been suppressed. It's now being released online on magdahavas.com. The Bioinitiative Report, which was published in 2007, reviews over 2,000 studies and shows there is high probability that there is reason for concern, and it is high time that we take action to protect public health. The Reflex Report, published in 2008, team effort with 12 European labs in 6 different European countries, also showed that DNA damage was occurring at an increased rate from exposure to low levels of RF radiation. Initially, it was funded by the EU, but they became very concerned when this was definitely what was being reported. And these people did not expect this to be the case. These labs were totally amazed that this was happening, and replaced all of their equipment, thinking that there must have been a mistake. And then for the 3rd time they did the studies and found that yes, this was indeed a problem. So these are some of the reported immediate health effects from smart meters. And these are the really uncomfortable and life-altering symptoms that they've been reporting. These are some of the effects that have been listed as a result of the in vitro animal and human studies that are being shown in all of that huge body of work that I just showed you in the previous slide. The damaged and lower sperm counts are really going to be interesting, and this also comes from keeping your cell phones in your pocket for the men, and ovarian impacts for the women. So we think that even as obsolete and irrelevant as the FCC current standards are, which only protect a huge man that's only 2% of the population are his size is 6'1" male weighing 185 to 210 pounds. It will only protect that size of a person from tissue heating from a single 30-minute exposure, whereas what we have now today is being exposed to multiple sources of radiofrequency radiation chronically, long-term, incessantly. And here's, courtesy of Cindy Sage, are some of the studies that are reporting health effects way below the FCC's supposed safety standard. And this is just a larger rendition of that. This is the standard absorption rate studies. These are again showing bioeffects at really much lower levels than what this standard is allowing today. What we know is that the health effects of radiofrequency radiation are cumulative. That's why people are becoming sick. They can become sensitive to electricity in the same way that people become sensitive to chemicals. And you can become completely immobilized by your nervous system breaking down and unable to deal with the constant assault that we have. We're seeing an increasing numbers of the electro-hypersensitive, and 3 to 10% is a conservative estimate, and those are the ones whose lives are very, very, very severely impacted. And there are a lot of people who probably have illness symptoms that they don't associate with it because they just don't know. So we are really concerned about this, the double-strand DNA breaks particularly. So we feel these are the real solutions to this attempt by industry to make money by saving energy. Well, the real way to do that is to reduce your energy consumption and to make serious attempts at energy efficiency. The largest use of electricity is on air conditioners, and so you could put cyclers on them that does all of that smart meters are purported to do, but without the health effects and the privacy effects. And then local distribution, and then local ordinances banning smart meters. And currently, by the way, wireless smart meters can't provide the net metering required for solar, but they are working on that, so that's not a long-term solution. But we also recommend that if you don't have a smart meter as yet, do put one of these signs on your meter, in your current meter, and call PG&E and get on their list to say that you do not want one. And then they say that you can't have an opt-out, but they will at least put you on a delay list, and who knows what might happen in the meantime. So we have copies of those in the back for you to take home. And I think that is wrapping it up for me.